Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Get Acclimated, part of the Altitude Sickness podcast. I am Tony, and today we are going to be getting into a little bit of another trade that the Rockies made, this time for second baseman, or I guess infielder, Edouard Julien and Pearson Ole for minor league pitcher Jace Kaminska, and he was traded to the Minnesota Twins. Today we're going to be focusing on Edouard Julien, but Pearson Ole will be in another video. And so we're just going to talk about him again if you haven't seen this series. Just going to be getting into a few stats, just things that he did last year and what all he could bring to the Rockies. And so without further ado, we'll just get right on into it. And so he is from Quebec, Canada, and he was drafted in the 18th round in 2019 by the Twins out of Auburn University. He bats left and he throws right, obviously, as a second baseman. So batting left is cool. Another lefty that the Rockies are going for. The Rockies, pretty much everyone they traded for batter-wise have been the lefty. We've got TJ Rumfield and now him. So we've got some lefties getting in our lineup. I guess TJ Rumfield is a minor leaguer. But and then Troy Johnston, who we picked up on waivers earlier this offseason, another lefty. So looks like they're trying to go a little more heavy in the lefty category, and so, that can be good. I know last year we kind of, the lefties that we had struggled, such as a Yanquiel Fernandez, such as a Zach Veen. Like a lot of those young guys struggled, and so they're trying to, I think, just build out that lefty depth, which is, always a good thing to have a little bit more depth. In 2025, so in 2025 for Edouard Julien, he had 208 plate appearances, so not a full season. He was bounced around, I think, between minor league and major league. Either that or he was kind of either a platoon or just a positional fill-in guy. He batted 220, 309, 324 for a 633 OPS, an 81 WRC plus with 3 home runs, 12 RBI, and then 22 walks to 61 strikeouts. So getting into that slash line, it's not the best. It's not the prettiest slash line. And so he's got a decent on-base percentage. Like 309 is not amazing, but by Rocky standards, that's probably about average. A 10% walk rate's not bad. A 10.6% walk rate's pretty good. He did have a 29.3% strikeout rate, though, so that's a little scary, just because, especially with this team, with the front office trying to get more of contact hitters, that seems to be a little contradictory. But again, I think it's just lefty bat that can play second, because I think as first is obvious, like it seems that first is going to be a little bit of a positional battle. I think second going into spring training will also be a positional battle. And so we're just going to get into a few of those standout stats that he's got going. So his chase percentage. So funny enough, with his strikeout percentage being so high, he doesn't have a crazy high chase percentage. So he's got a 19.8 chase percentage and a 12.2% barrel percentage or barrel rate. So both of those are pretty solid. Don't know the percentiles fully because he didn't play a full year, so it doesn't show the percentiles on StatCast. But those are up in the red, so that's probably about 70 and higher percent. So those are pretty good. You want to see those. And then he has a 31.7% line drive rate. I think that's clearly, something that the Rockies are looking to do is get more guys that can hit the ball in gaps, like line drives in gaps and stuff, as opposed to the ground ball hitters that we've been having recently, too many ground balls or too many just strikeouts. So getting more line drives, I think, are going to be key, especially somewhere like Coors Field. And then another standout stat that I found with him is he does well against the slider. Against sliders, he batted .417 with a .583 slugging percentage, a .446 weighted on base average, and then a 52.9% hard hit rate. So pretty good against that slider. And I think most pitchers you're going to see are probably going to have some form of a slider. And so him being able to hit that well against them, I think, is obviously a plus. So if you're gonna be good, you gotta hit everything, obviously, but being good at least at hitting it one thing can be pretty nice. So him hitting well against the slider is good. And then just some other notes. He's a good high ball hitter. He's pretty good at hitting the ball high, and I think some of that just comes from being a lefty. Lefties usually can get up underneath that ball pretty well, and being able to get actually at least on top of the ball to hit more line drives, I think, is obviously going to be key. He played mainly first and second last year, so he's got a little bit of the versatility position-wise for the infield. He wasn't a great defender. He had -2 defensive runs saved at first and -3 defensive runs saved at second, so not amazing at either of those positions, but that just seems to be like that may just be him bouncing around. You're not going to be an amazing defender everywhere you go. It's the fact that you can play in those places. And then he's about average speed. He had no stolen bases in 2025, and so his sprint speed's about average. And so you're not really looking to get a lot of stolen bases with this guy, which is fine. Like, that's not, if that's not part of his game, then that's not. And so a big part of his game seems to be that he can walk. He sees pitches and he can walk. A little bit of that positional versatility, and then low chase rates. So he doesn't chase outside the zone that much, and he can hit the ball decently hard. But overall things, he's a left-handed option at second. Again, it's pretty good. It's kind of like, Amador, I guess, is a switch hitter. But I could see him and Tyler Freeman possibly. Him and Tyler Freeman, or him and Ryan Ritter, maybe platooning at second. I could see a little bit of that. Currently, he has now since the Rockies traded him a few days ago. He's currently listed as the starting second baseman on Fangraphs. So that, I think, it just shows that, like, obviously Fangraphs, it's not, set in stone. There still hasn't been spring training or anything. But I do think that could be, a telltale sign that could be what the Rockies are looking for, is just this guy is going to be our starter, and just let him have a little more playing time and give Amador more time at the minor league level, because I think it was clear that he was not ready at the major league level last year. And so you gotta hone him in a little bit in the minors. And again, he could play multiple infield positions. He doesn't offer a lot in terms of power, but also second base is not a position that you're looking for a lot of power. They usually don't. And especially with the tandem of Tyler Freeman, Ryan Ritter, Amador, or Edouard Julien now, I think it's pretty clear that that's not what the front office is looking for with their second baseman. They're not looking for power. They're looking probably more for the average looking, or not the average looking, the average hitting player, meaning batting average. Like, they want him to just get more hits rather than home runs, look for less slug but more contact type stuff. And so, but other than that, a little bit of a shorter one. But again, he didn't play that much last year, and he's kind of like a lower tier MLB player. Again, I foresee him being more of a platoon at second with either Tyler Freeman or Ryan Ritter, depending. And so, but that's all I've got for him. I will talk about Pierce Ohl. He'll be in another video. And so, but this was just one half of that trade, which, again, I think that's good. Rockies are making trades. This is rare. It's rare for the Rockies to make so many trades, and it's nice to see. It's a good breath of fresh air. So, but overall, that's all I've got for him. And so, as always, go Rockies, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.